Now that I have this table that dynamically updates based on the metric that I've selected in B2, I've also done the same thing with my denominator table. So if I want to change this to at-bats, for example, then this will update, and so does the data. So now I need to create a table that divides these two metrics. I'm going to start by setting this up with the dates. So for the ending date, I'm just going to reference column R, which is for this first table to mirror that. Array formula R25 to R. So now I have all my dates. I also need to select a beginning date that's based on my moving total interval. So I'm going to use the offset function here. So my cell reference is going to be B25, and the offset is going to be based on my moving total. So there we go. But I'm not done because my moving total is selected as 3, and this is going down 4 weeks. So I need to modify this. And the reason it's doing 4 weeks is it's taking this and then adding 3 on top of it. So I really just want 3 total. So I'm going to subtract 1 there. Okay, so this is good. And now I'm going to wrap this in the array formula function, but I also need to select the ending point of this range. And so it's going to be B25 to B. So my moving period is November 6th, my beginning date to November 20th. Now I need to populate my data by calculating the two tables that I already set up by each other. So let's start with a SUMIF function. So my range is going to be S25 to S, and I'm going to use the row function for this range. So this is going to tell me what the row number is for this range that I'm evaluating. The criteria is again going to be the row S25 to S, but I'm going to tell it I want everything that's less than or equal to this row. And then the sum is going to be S25 to S. Okay, so it's picking up that first one, 38. Let's wrap this in the array formula function so it populates down. So we can see here, it's just creating a running total of everything that's come before it. So in this case, it's 3 items, 130, sums to 130, and so on. But of course, we need only the 3 periods that are most recent. So we're going to create an additional SUMIF statement that we're going to use to subtract from this original one. It's going to be very similar. And I'm just going to copy the text and paste it into this cell next to it. And I'm going to modify this to say less than. And now with this original formula, I'm going to add my moving total interval and subtract 1. And so now this is calculating the running total starting with the first 3 periods, in this case 130, and then 150, and so on. And I want to subtract the result from column Q. So in this case, 0. In the second case, 38, which would be taking October 23rd to November 13th. And so basically, I want to subtract this formula from this formula. I can just copy this and I'm going to subtract it here. And now I have my 2 expressions, and that should give me the answer that I want. So we can check this. So for the first selection, it should be 130, for the second, 142, for the third, 143, and so on. So this is working. So this is what I want to copy into my table here. If I go beyond the dates that are selected, then it's going to keep populating. And if I add, say, 10 more rows, it's going to keep populating. So I need to wrap this in the array constraint formula. And the number of rows is going to be based on the count of what's in column B. So I'm going to say B25 to B, and the number of columns is just going to be 1. And if I go to the end, then it stops at the end. So now I have my moving total of my hits. But of course, I want to divide my hits, in this case, by the at-bats, what's in the second table. So I need to recreate this expression as the divisor. And so I'm going to bracket this off and then divide by that expression. So for all the references in the denominator, I'm going to change this to AJ. So now I've changed all my references, and that should give me the calculation that reflects this table hits divided by this table, which is at bats. So now I can copy this formula over to each of my individual players. But as you can see, I have some division errors. And that's because some people didn't play every week, and so there's no data to return. So I'm going to need to further modify my formula here. And all I'm going to do here is copy the divisor and insert an if statement and say, if that is equal to 0, comma, blank, otherwise continue to evaluate. And so now this populates down, and if I copy this over, then I don't get these division errors, and it's simply blank for those weeks that people didn't play. And so that's it, at least for this step. Next, I'm going to start populating my summary table and creating the chart.